talk shit when I'm under the center. Game plan sick, talking under the weather. You know what we doing? I need that all expense paid inclusive. I'm the plug, so I'm plugged into it. About money like with Jewish white Christmas. I'm Scrooge, bitch. My mood is on cruise ship. If you ain't tuned in, you ain't vibing with my moon man. I move shit like Kerry. I'm the cold truth, Fletcher Reed, Jim Carrey. Everything movie, that mean the price varies. Need that designer cream shit and all Ben and Jerry's. Cream get the money like 36 chambers. Baskin Robbins shit, 31 flavors. Keep it moving.
I can make things move. I can make things move. I can make things move. I can make things move.
Everything on me. Yeah, tell him Bogart Scott free. Lottie-dottie. Like to potty. Fuck with blow shoot, trolling pop molly. Heard I carry weight, move packs like a dolly. And I stay fuming, clock me doing Godspeed. Business booming, back-to-back trips, moving multiple units. Got mules, got universal soldiers, getting money for sure. Yeah, we ain't shrugging shoulders. You think I'm lucky getting over, made it far cause I'm sharp, fuck a 4-leaf clover. On my 89, minus the flat top. Getting packs off, smoking on the cash crop. Money talk, if you're broke then you can't talk. Play a never ending ball game, Sandlot.
I can make things move. I can make things move. I can make things move.
Getting money when I land there. Smoking all loud so I can't hear. And if your boys bring the noise, all y'all places getting scraped, pap smear. Codeine got me leaning, tower pizza. Put your boy on point, pyramid of Giza. I'ma rock like this till I'm an old geezer. No pizza parlor, but we deliver pizzas. Ask Uncle Sam, I'm taxing. Look, ma, no hands, telepathic. I can make things move, I'm carefully calculated when I make these moves. I run shit, don't let me get loose. I'm all about my decks, trying not to get goosed. Keep it moving.
Good afternoon and welcome to Season 2, Episode 2 of the Chargers Power. And it's pre-draft time. We got the draft tomorrow. So I'm going to start it off. Hey, its title is Thunder and Lightning is back, and it's dangerous. And it's going to be a good show. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. And JD, you want to hit the drop? Before we get into today's show, make sure you head on over to neonpeacockmerch.com. Check out the custom gear available, from your custom t-shirts, your hoodies, your hats, your coffee mugs and drinkware, pillows, framed artwork, etc. Trust me. Seriously, if you can't wear it, you can't drink out of it, or you can't hang it on your wall, you're not going to find it any other way. Peacock's the best artist. He's designed it, and he does amazing work. Here's just a few samples. Get your Lightning Lad shirt or get your LA Charger Jam shirt. Also, There is less than 24 hours left on the sale, which is $14 tees and 35% off site-wide. It ends tomorrow around noontime Central Time. So you got less than 24 hours to take full advantage of it. So head on over to neonpeacockmerch.com and you're going to find something you're going to love. And if not, you can always contact Peacock and he can design you some great custom stuff. Put it on the site. Just put your email in, get all hooked up, get the alerts. Trust me, there's a bunch of us on the channel. I got a wardrobe of this stuff, but it's good quality stuff, good stuff, a great person, and a great artist. So, hey, the channel and all that stuff, but Peacock's got some great stuff, and he does amazing work. But after that, let me get to episode 2. And we got the draft tomorrow, so let's go. I'm pumped. I'm excited. All these rumors can finally be put to bed. After tonight, they're just rumors. And tomorrow, the real shit happens. So let's go. All righty. JD, you want to pull up that draft picture? All right. So here we are. We're sitting with 5 draft picks in this next draft. So we have in the 22, we have 5 picks. Right now, the Chargers are walking into this draft with a total of 5 picks, and every single one has to matter. We need to hit on these picks, just as Joe Ortiz has the last 2 years, as he's been our GM. Hopefully, pull up some more starters that turn into starters for our roster. So, as we sit tomorrow going into round 1, we have the 22nd pick. So, and then we have round 2, we have the 55th pick. Round 3, 86. Round 4, 123. We don't have a 5th round pick because we traded that for Dafe Owe last year. So we're out a 5th round pick, and then we got round 6. We got to wait till 204. So, we got to make these 5 picks tomorrow and in this draft count. I mean, hopefully come out of this with at least 2 to 3 starters and depth pieces on this. And I'm hoping so. I'm hoping this is an all defensive draft. I've seen a lot of rumors that we could go a wide receiver inside this draft, but I really, as I've stressed on it the last episode, I want to stress on the defensive line and the offensive line, and it's about protecting Justin Herbert. Nothing else, nothing more. I mean, what happens, but we shall see. But, I mean, with no 5th round pick this year due to last year's trade, as I said, you're so in a little lighter than usual. Like, not 7 picks, you got 5, which means there's 0 room for mistakes and misses. We got to really hit on these picks. I mean, unless we, as I said last time, there's possibilities we could trade back in the round 1. I don't want to, but anything can happen. There's a lot of rumors. There's a lot of teams that want to trade up, that need a quarterback. Where we are sitting at 22 is a good position if someone like Arizona wants to come up and get Ty Simpson. So that, we shall see what does happen. But this is one of those drafts. Hey, what's up, Derek? Salute, brother. Hey, man, all this George Pickens stuff is crazy. Yeah, what's up, King D? Sorry for not shouting at the chat. That's my bad. Hey, what's up, y'all? Hey, King, Derek, thank you for joining. But no, this isn't one of those drafts where you're just like throwing darts. Every pick for the Chargers has to hit. I mean, I'm hoping they hit because Ortiz has done that the past 2 years. He's hit on the draft the last 2 years. So I'm really, compared to Coupon Tom Telesco, I'm a lot satisfied than what we had in the old regime and what we have with the new. So I'm fine with that. But when you really look at it, pick number 22 is the tone setter of this draft. We have to come away, I feel, with a starter, if it's a guard or if it's an offensive tackle. That's what I want to come away with in round 1. I don't want to come away with, oh man, we should have, we could have, but no, I don't want. That's why I said we don't want to miss on this one. I want to hit on this one. Pause. So I want an impact player. That's what I want in this round 1. Chance to grab an impact player, someone who can come in right away and elevate this roster, especially on the offensive side of the ball. I mentioned it all last season and all on season 1. It's about protecting Justin Herbert, and this is how we have to do it. There's talent that's out there. Now we've evaluated that talent. Now let's hit on that talent and pick the right person. I trust Joe Ortiz. I know what Jim Harbaugh wants. I know what they both want. I don't know, but they know what they want, and hopefully they can deliver that for their fans tomorrow. And when it comes to rounds 2 and 3, 55 and 86, that's where the great teams separate themselves. That's where you find starters, depth, and guys who outperform their draft slot. We came across that the past 2 years, and we come across great starters, players that were, and we got them in trades. But come on, we came out with starters, 3 last year. So we are hitting on our draft picks, something that we were not doing in the Telesco years. We are hitting on our draft picks, and we're getting positive players out of our draft picks. Now, then it comes to round 4 at 123. That's going to be our value pick. I remember stressing it. Joe Ortiz is great at the value. So this is the rounds where Joe and Jim really shine. And we have shown that. We got Tarheeb Steele last year. We got other players that are now starters that are going to be valuable players on our roster. So I'm not worried about it. I would have if it was too Coupon Tom. I don't worry about it with Joe Ortiz. He knows what the hell he's doing. And just look at the last 2 years, what we've done on the field and what we're producing and what we're putting out there, pause. So, hey, I'm not too concerned about it. But then when you get to round 6, when we got 204, that's where you take a swing. Traits upside, special teams development players. But sometimes those picks are that end up surprising everybody also. So we shall see what comes up. Bottom line, 5 picks, not a 5th round cushion. But then there's a team that's already close. You know, that this draft is about building from, it's not just about building from scratch. It's about finishing the goddamn job and protecting Justin Herbert. I'm going to say it time in and time out until I get blue in the face. We have to protect Justin Herbert. Last year was a disgrace. I swear to God, he almost got killed a lot of time. He was the most hit quarterback in the league. I think he was the most, but he was up there. He was top 3. Behind Drake May and all that. Yeah, he was up there. So we have to protect Justin Herbert, to me, you know. Now, a lot of the Chargers, specific first round big board for me at 22. Now, there's trade backs. As I said, there could be trade back scenarios. There's teams that want to come up or all that kind of stuff. Now, who I wanted, Olone, I think he is actually going to be gone. If we actually want him, we're going to have to trade up, and it's probably going to cost us a pretty penny because I think he's going to go top 10. He's going to go very quick in this draft. Now, as for the names, I'm going to mention these whom I like. I was looking, and there's other things. There's Olone. Of course, he's my 1A. Then you got TJ Parker. You got Peter Woods, Chase Basantis, and you got Caden McDonald, who's been a name that's been on the rise the past 48 hours. His name has coming up. So that's a name. I wouldn't be shocked, but I'm not. But now, as for the experts somehow, at 22, Peter Schrager this morning says that has the Chargers taking edge Kedrick Falk in his final mock. Bucky Brooks, who I know JD and I follow and follow all his stuff, he has TJ Parker from Clemson, the edge rusher. Now, Nate Tice and Charles McDonald from Yahoo Sports have us taking defensive lineman Peter Woods from Clemson, who I have mentioned in the show. Now, as for Jordan Reed of ESPN, he has taking edge Hakeem Mesidor from Miami. JD's the fella backstage. He's a Miami Hurricane fan. Hey, and that's another part. Now, Connor Orr from Sports Illustrated has us taking tackle Blake Miller from Clemson, who I have no idea about. I've never mentioned him. It's just a name that happened to float about. But these are what the experts are saying. But they are names that I have mentioned in the past month and a half, like Peter Woods, TJ Parker, who I have brought up. I know I've mentioned Mesidor, but his name had not been there for me. But Kedrick Falk is a name that I have seen the past, I'd say 2 to 3 days, more mentioned to us. But you know what? I think the names, the name that did set up is Peter Woods. But I have a funny feel. And there's also the kid from Oregon. I mean, there's names that I have mentioned that are going to be available if we have to trade up. Something's going to happen. I'm fine for it. But I have a lot of confidence in Joe Ortiz and Jim Harbaugh in this draft because after what we've done the past 2 years, I'm satisfied. As a fan, I'm satisfied, but I'm hungry. I'm hungry for what's to come, but I'm also hungry because I know we were in the playoffs last year, and that loss sits with me, but I know it's about protecting Justin Herbert. So if we protect Justin Herbert, I think we're going to be fine because we saw what Justin Herbert did last year without an offensive line. You put him with an offensive line, It's going to be a difference maker. And you add the new piece of Mike McDaniels, this offense is going to be a beautiful thing to watch. That's all I'm going to say. So on that topic, that's the draft part for me. But, as I said, Thunder and Lightning is back, and it's going to be dangerous. JD, you want to pull up that picture of McDaniel? Yeah, there we go. I just mentioned Mikey D. All right, so I'm going to call this segment, The Standard Has Changed, and the offense is on the clock. Herbert's had 6 years on the team, but now he has an offensive coordinator with a mind like Mike McDaniel. This guy can scheme up plans, have schemes that Herbert has never done with the Chargers. So I'm looking forward to seeing this. So to me, the expectations for the Mike McDaniels offense, they're not just high, they're sky high. And honestly, they should be. You got a quarterback like Justin Herbert with his arm talent, arm strength, his mind eye, quarterback IQ. This kid is good. I know he's like, they call him underrated, or many people call him underrated, but a lot of people say he's overrated. But you know what? He's my quarterback. I'm going to say, hey, man, to me, he's good. I mean, he's good, but I feel he can be elite this season. And that's what I'm going to say. He's going to be an elite quarterback this year. The expectations are high for Herbert and for this offense and for the Chargers because we have Mike McDaniels. Look what he did in Miami, and he's coming here with a quarterback. He's not going to have El Concusto Tua. He's going to have Justin fucking Herbert. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, you got your franchise quarterback in Justin Herbert entering his prime. You've invested in the weapons around him. You've retooled the identity into the Mike McDaniel offense. And now for the first time in a while, we're looking at a healthy offensive line. We didn't have that last year. We had a makeshift line last year. And it's going to be a little different look this year. We're going to have Joe Alt. We're going to have a healthy Joe Alt. We're going to have a healthy Rashawn Slater. So I'm looking forward to this. And the additions to the offensive line in the draft and in free agency is going to be a blessing. And that just matters most than anything, because when Herbert is protected, when he is clean and in the pocket, we're already seeing what he can be is elite. And I'm going to say that a lot. I feel Justin Herbert this year is going to be elite with a capital E. Now, there's no more excuses for Justin Herbert. This has to be the best offense we've ever seen from him and operate in, because he never had an OC like this. Come on, you had Greg Roman. He was good with Kellen Moore and all that stuff. But he never had an offensive mind like Mike McDaniel. The guy's a guru. The guy can think. The guy game plans. And he's going to change it up for Herbert. And this is going to be a lovely thing because Herbert can adjust. And Herbert's that kind of quarterback that I think is going to thrive in this offense. I mean, it's not flashy. It's not all the potential. I'm talking about a complete, consistent, top-tier unit week in, week out. Now, I'm hoping, it's great on paper and all that, but it has to happen on the damn field because this is where everything comes together. The system, the protection, the playmaker, it's all there. And it all starts up front with a healthy offensive line, and it changes everything. It'll unlock the run game. It gives Herbert time to dissect defenses, and it allows the offense to fully play on his terms. That's what play on his terms, play to his capability and play to his playing levels and ability. Let's go, Justin Herbert. I'm looking for it. And when everything is in place like this, the standard changes. I mean, now it's about executing on the field and executing the plays. It's about dominance. And I want to see that on the field this year, and I'm hoping so. I mean, they say pressure creates diamonds. Well, this is it. The pressure is on. The spotlight is bright. And it's time to shine for this offense. And Herbert can shine like diamonds. And I swear to God, he's going to prove a lot of people wrong. All when they say, he's not clutch. He is fucking clutch. He's going to show it this year. And I'm going to say it. You can clip that. He's going to show it. He is that man. And he's the man for this team. None on that. I'll end that segment on that. All right, JD, you want to pull up that wonderful triple threat picture? All righty. Well, we haven't seen a running back room like this in a while for the Chargers. Like the last time you probably saw something like this was probably with LT. When you had LT and then you had what's his name? the other. I just did a brain fart. Sorry, excuse me. But no, it's been a while. I mean, we got Amari and Hampton. We got and we got Kimani Vidal. So it's gonna be a three-headed monster. I'm looking forward. I mean, as I said, we always have injuries. It's the Chargers curse. I tell Kid all the time. I'm like, man, that's the biggest thing for the Chargers. Is the Chargers curse is our injuries. Excuse me. So, I mean, you heard it straight from Jim Harbaugh. He's calling it thunder and lightning. And if you're a Chargers fan, this should get you fired up, because this is just a catchy phrase. This is an identity. We're talking about a backfield that can hit you from every damn angle. You've got Amari and Hampton bringing the thunder. Downhill, physical, punishing football. The type of runner that wears defenses out by the third quarter. Linebackers don't want to keep stepping up into all that game. And then when you get into the mix, you got Kimani Vidal. That's your spark. Quick, shifty, explosive. He's that guy who can turn a small crease into a 20-yard game and then flip the field position in a heartbeat. So, hey, I'll take that. But, and then you don't sleep on the new addition. We got Keenan Mitchell either. Come on now. Now that kid, now we know what he's done in Baltimore. When this kid gets the ball, look out. He can create space, and he hits the right hole pause, he's gone. So I'm looking at this. This is a wonderful addition, not just for the Chargers, but also for fantasy. It's an intriguing, for me, it's going to be an intriguing fantasy player also in this Chargers offense. I mean, I'm going to say, don't sleep on Keaton Mitchell either. That's a pure lightning home run speed. One cut, as I said, one cut and he's gone. Defensive coordinators have to account for him every single snap, because if they don't, it's 6. We know his speed. We know what he's capable of doing. I mean, he's healthy and he's in an offense, so I think it's going to be nice, but it's all put all together. When it's all put together, that's going to be a triple-headed monster that's going to be a problem for teams in the league. So, hey, I'd rather be a problem, and that problem they have to solve. It's not the other way around for us, because now defenses can't key in on just one player or one style. You hit them when the power, then the speed. What's up? Oh, yeah, it's Sproulsy. Yeah, because he was with the Saints, and yeah, it was Sproles. My bad. McDaniel is one and done. Yeah, I know McDaniel King. I know, I've already said it. I know that's why all these things in the offseason and free agency was 1 or 2. There are 2-year deals. So basically, it's the 1 year. It as I said, we shop. It's like what Bill Belichick. He was shopping for groceries. We were shopping at a thrift store, not Neiman Marcus, because this was only for 1 year. And that's why I said the thrift store, Neiman Marcus, because it was a 1-year rental with the Mike McDaniel. It's a showcase for him to get a head coach. I think he's gonna do that, and it's fine. But you know what? Let's just take advantage of this. That's all I'll say. Because, and there's no bigger picture. It takes pressure off Justin Herbert. You establish there's a run game like this. You control the clock. You open up the play action. Now Herbert gets to cook in much more dangerous offense. This is what Harbaugh wants: physical, relentless, unpredictable football. Hey, King, you know what? I just want to get back to the playoffs. I know everyone wants a Super Bowl, but hey, it's in our house, right? It's not just our house. It's the Rams' house, and we're just tenants, right? I have to be right, because we just pay rent. You know what I'm saying? Okay, our owner does. You know, and as I said, Harbaugh gave it thunder and lightning. It isn't just a nickname. It might be the identity that brings this offense back to life. I'm looking forward to seeing what this three-headed monster running back room can do. I mean, I love Hampton, but you know what? You can't do it all. I mean, injuries happen, but it's nice to have a backup like Keaton Mitchell, and then have Vidal as it's not just one, it's not two, but we have 3 backs that are capable of running the show. So that to me is something we have not had since, as JD said, since LT and Sproles. Now those days were fun. I remember watching that stuff. I ain't gonna lie, man. Darren Sproles is a workhorse, man. For small dude, He can run. And you know what? This offense is going to be fun watching this year. I'm looking forward to it. I ain't going to lie. But no. All right. Now, enough for that. The three-headed monster segment. JD, you want to pull up that Herbert draft pick for me? All righty. So I'm going to call this one History in the Making. Herbert's unmatched start. All right. Let's take a second to really understand what we're witnessing here with Justin Herbert. I mean, this isn't just a good quarterback play. This is historically elite production. Look at the companies, and he's got Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. I ain't going to say it. Russell Wilson, yes, put up the stats. But freaking Peyton fucking Manning. Come on. That's company. No quarterback in NFL history has more total yards to their first 6 seasons than Justin Herbert. Yes, he's 0-3 in the playoffs. That's going to change this year. And I'm going to say that right now. It's going to change. That 0-3 is going to be 1-4. But we'll add on to that one each week, you know. But no, read that again. We're talking about a league that has been likes of Dan Marino, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Patrick Mahomes, all-time greats, MVPs, Super Bowl MVP, and Super Bowl champions. And not one of them started their career stacking yards at the rate Justin Herbert has. Hey, but you know what? Yes, you can have the stats, but you want to have those key wins, like playoff wins. Justin Herbert has the big goose egg, unfortunately, right now. That actually sucks. That's the only thing that's hurting him right now is his playoff record, and that's going to change. And this isn't empty production. This is high volume passing, consistent efficiency, durability, and availability. Now, we know Justin Herbert in his career, in his first few seasons, was hurt almost every year. So on the availability, he played through injuries quite a bit, but he was hurt also. And that availability to carry on the offense regardless of the circumstances. From day one, Justin Herbert didn't just ease into the league. He hit the ground throwing lasers. I mean, rookie of the year, record-setting performances, and year after year, top-tier yardage production. He's always up there. Besides, you know, there was a few years when he was hurt. But yeah, but there's what it makes more impressive. He's done it through coaching changes, multiple, not just head coaches, but offensive coordinator coaches. Changes almost year in, year out. Scheme adjustments, injuries across the roster, inconsistent offensive line play at times. Sometimes, like last year, he played with offensive lines that had 17, 18 different roster changes or schemes or whatever. So, and still, the production never dipped below elite levels. So that tells you everything you need to know about who he is as a person, as a player, a system-proof quarterback, a volume machine with efficiency, and a player whose floor is higher than most QB's ceiling. Then there's the real conversation. Is this the first 6 years or what this next 6 years is going to look like also? Because if you combine this level of production with a more stable offensive identity, like this year, yes, we'll have Mike McDaniels, but this is where I feel Herbert and this offense is going to thrive. And it's going to stink that once McDaniel leaves, it's going to change again. But that's the nature of the business also. I mean, better protection up front for Herbert and a fully built-out supporting cast. They've done everything to support Justin Herbert and in this one-year offense. You know what I'm trying to say? So when the numbers turn into wins and the wins turn into January football, which we all hope for our team and which I hope for the Chargers this year, is we have a deep playoff run pause. So, yeah, that stat is crazy. But the bigger takeaway for me is we're not just watching a great quarterback. We're watching a guy and a player who's on pace to rewrite record books and also elevate the franchise to where it's never been before. Hey, what's up, Bo Chapman? Hey, I welcome you all. You're welcome here anytime. Hey, I don't mind it. Hey, y'all, you got the division last year. Have your cherries for now. But Bo Nix is still, he hasn't beat Justin Herbert yet. You know what? You guys beat us last year when we didn't have starters in there. Beat us when we have our starters and a healthy offensive line. And I'll let you talk your flowers all you want. That's all I'm going to say. But, hey, man, it's going to be fun. You're welcome here anytime. It's going to be a fun year. Hey, I love having my AFC West rivals, and it's going to be fun. I have my friend Bakes in here. I'm going to have a friend of mine who's a Chiefs fan. I got family who's Broncos fans, but you know what? They're donkey's ashes to me. But hey, y'all won the division last year, but you're actually the hunted this year. So, you can enjoy all that pile of shit for the year and just wait till next season. We'll show you who's boss. But no, man, thanks for joining the stream, and you're welcome anytime. But I look forward to tapping in with you, man. If you ever want to join the show when it's the Broncos week, you're more than welcome. I'd love to hear from the other fan base and whatnot. But I guess, hey, welcome to the show. Hey, JD, you want to pull up the Tuli pick? All right. I know I mentioned Tuli in the last show, but I'm going to break it down a little more because I think with news that just came out that this coming week that Tuli is, after the draft, we are going to address an extension pause for him, along with also Derwin James. But Tuli is going to get the bag and deserves to be paid. But hey, man. Hey, but shout out to your Broncos. They did win the AFC West last year. But you know what? It's going to be a good division this year. And I'm looking forward to seeing what we get from Bo Nix and also that new look Broncos this year. So, hey, you guys got Waddle. Let's see if he can take his little penguin feet and do what he supposedly can do. We shall see what's going to happen. All right, let me get back to this Tuli takeover. This is Tuli Tuipulotu's takeover season this year. Now, let's talk about a guy who doesn't just get enough national love yet, but that's not about to change. Tuli is entering year 4, and it's a contract year. This is the year, I feel, for Tuli, because when you look at the trajectory, it's all been building towards this moment. Every season, he's added something to his resume. More strength, more polish, more confident as a pass rusher. He's had the tutelage from also Khalil Mack and others on the Chargers. So he's learned from some of the best. And it shows what he's doing on the field. I mean, he's producing year in, year out. His numbers are only getting better. He's not just a high effort guy anymore. He's becoming a technician on this defensive line. And that's when it gets scary. Tuli already has the motor you can't teach. He's relentless. He doesn't take plays off. That's one thing about Tuli. Yo, man, he's out there all the time. Offensive tackles feel him every snap. Come on. You're starting to see the huge usage improve also. The counters develop. He's not just rushing the ball anymore. He's setting up guys up on the team. And it shows we have a young nucleus we're building, and Tuli is part of that. And I want to see, and he's going to get paid, and I'm glad he's there. Year 4 is typically when edge rushers arrive. To me, I felt like Tuli arrived last year, and it showed. His stats, I mentioned it in the last show. His stats are there. He doesn't miss time. He's after the quarterback, and he's a menace to society. And he's a menace to the next quarterback that's going to be flat as a pancake. And I'm going to call it the Tuli pancake. That's when the game slows down, and that's when the instinct meets experience. And there's the key, opportunity for Tuli. Depending on how this defensive front rotates, Tuli could be in line for a bigger role. Pause. More snaps, more chances to get after the quarterback, after Mahomes, after Nix, and after Mendoza when he's still on the field. Sorry, rookie, you're going down. Sorry, Bakes. We're talking about double-digit sack potential. He did it last year. It's not like we know what he can do. We know what he's capable of. And you know what? Not just yet, but JD, thanks. But I appreciate it. As I said, he's going to break out. And we're talking about, as I said, double sack digits. And we're talking about a guy who can shift momentum at a game after a play. And that's what he's an impact player. Let's not overlook his versatility. He can line up in multiple spots, crash the inside, set the edge. He fits exactly what this defense wants to be. It's physical, it's aggressive, and it's disruptive. We have to be disruptive and hitting the quarterback time in, time out. And that's where Tuli is going to be showing it. He's going to show how disruptive he can be with the rest. And I know this line is going to be different. We got a new DC. But as I said last week, it's not going to change really too much. So he's been with Tuli before. I think whenever there's change, there's always a little difference, but I don't think it's going to be too much for us. So when you're watching the Chargers defense in 2026, keep an eye out on number 54, and that's Tuli, because year 4 is Tuli's year. This might be the year he goes from a really solid player to a problem for the rest of the league and for the AFC West quarterbacks. So, hey, I can hope so. I can say this, I can talk it, but Tuli's got to do this in the field, and I hope he backs my words up, because seriously, he showed it last year. He stepped up year in, year out, and showed he's improved every single year. So, now let me get to Mr. Quentin Johnston. I'm going to do 2 segments on QJ today. So now, hey, I'm going to call this one Quentin Johnston, From Flashes to Foundation. All righty, so let's talk about a name that's starting to quietly shift from potential to production. And why I say potential is when you come into the league, he has the potential. He really didn't show it his rookie year. But after that, he did show his potential, what he has, and flashing what he can be. We have seen that the last 2 years. So when you look at the numbers, and the growth is real for Quentin Johnston, I'm gonna say for Q, and it's meaningful. Quentin Johnston in 2025, number 1 in missed tackles forced per reception, number 1 in separation win rate on post routes, top 4 in receiving yards on targets of 20+ air yards or more. Key stat: Quentin Johnston last year had 2 drops. Years prior to that, that was an issue. But Quentin Johnston, from his rookie year, now going into year 4, has shown that the drops have come down. Yes, there's drops here. In the past, we had some key drops and in key games and key moments. Those hurt. Yeah, don't lie. Hopefully, he had to suck that one up. And yeah, those things cost us. I know that. But this tells you 2 things right away. Q's role is expanding. He's learning. He's earning more targets, not just being scheme touches. I felt in the Greg Roman offense, I said it a couple of times, he really wasn't used to his capability. Quentin Johnston here at TCU was more of a yak machine. It was always yards after the catch. It was the deep ball. Pause. And that's one thing Quentin Johnston, last year you saw that, but hopefully in this new offense with Mike McDaniels, he's going to be hypothetically the Tyreek Hill of this offense. And that means, to me, Q's got the speed. He can stretch the field. Pause. So we shall see. Q's hopefully expanding. As I said, the efficiency from Q is improving year in and year out. And that's been the biggest question mark in his game. Early on, the conversation around Quentin Johnston was consistency, hands focused, and finishing plays. I ain't gonna lie, his hands in his first 2 years were horrible. He couldn't catch the guy. I almost sometimes say, he needed stickum or something like that just to catch the goddamn ball. But he finally learned, hey, and that's, but as I said, that's why I said development. He didn't really have that, but hopefully he's developed into a player, but hopefully developed into a player that can be used. And he's learned, and Justin Herbert has relied on it. If you look at it more from year 1 and then to last year 3, Justin Herbert depended on him a lot more. And in big times, another one play that stands out to me was against the Dallas Cowboys when he grabbed a one-handed catch. Was I shocked? Yes, because you don't usually see that from Q. Not one-handed. He always, knock was he can't catch the goddamn ball in big moments. Yeah, and he did. But there's time. He has shown flashes. That's what I'm saying. That's why I called it flashes to this. Because he's shown what he can do. But more, as I said, he's on the clock now in this offense because he has to. It's a make or break year. It's a contract year for Q. Now the drops are down, the confidence is up, and you're starting to see a wide receiver who understands how to stack good reps, not just flash big ones. Pause. It's a big, I feel to me, for Q, this is a big year loading in the Mike McDaniel system. And that's what I feel. What's changed for Quentin Johnston? This isn't just about stats. It's about the development Q has shown the past 2 seasons. And I'm going to reiterate, he has shown a lot of improvement the last 2 years. Johnston's beginning to win early in routes instead of relying purely on his athletic. What's up, Banks? shout out to you, homie. Hey, it's draft day tomorrow, brother. I can't wait. Pretty soon we'll be drafting our fantasy teams and our rookie drafts. But man, shout out to Bo Chapman, the Broncos fan. And hey, I'm just welcoming my Raiders buddy Bakes. Hey man, I got the AFC West two of the 4 represented. So actually 3 with the Chargers. So hey man, it's all good, man. I'm looking forward to this year, Bakes. I know you're looking forward to the draft. And we got a bigger draft come up in August. That's even a lot more fun. But hey, Bakes, I hope you all get what you want and get what you need in this draft, man. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. Let me get back to this one. As I said, Quentin Johnston, he's win early routes, attacking leverage has got better against corners playing off the coverage. Using his frame more efficiently at the catch point, which early in his career was a bad thing for you. Maybe he's learning. But at Quentin Johnston's size, he's always been built to play on the outside. That's why I said in the Roman offense, he just wasn't used correctly. Yeah, he was used, but I don't think used to his abilities or how the proper word was not to his abilities, but to his playability, what his strengths. That's the proper word. To Quentin Johnston's strengths, he wasn't used the correct way. So I should say that. And I mean, as I said, a Q size has always been built, and that's dangerous. Why it matters most for this offense this year. In this Chargers system, especially with the offense that's evolving, you need a receiver who can stretch the field vertically, win one-on-one outside, turn simple completions into explosive plays. I remember mentioning it last year. Explosive plays. We did not have many last year. Now we didn't have an offensive coordinator like Mike McDaniels. So that's another thing. So hopefully those explosive plays happen this year. I mean, Quentin Johnston checks 3 boxes for me. He's got the size to bully smaller corners, the speed to punish soft coverage, the run after catch ability to flip the field position very, very fast. That's why I felt he could be the Tyreek Hill of this offense. And then again, we're going to see a lot from Ladd, and I'll get something later on about that too. And now the key is starting to bring reliability into equation. The bigger picture for Quentin Johnston, if Johnston keeps stacking clean, efficient reps like this, it changes the entire complexion of the receiver room. I mean, if Quentin Johnston does do his thing, we're going to be fine. We'll be fine this year. I mean, I'm not saying fine, but it's going to take all of us. It's going to take Ladd. It's going to take QJ. It's going to take KLS and take Trey Harris. I mean, I like our wide receiver room this year. It's going to be fun. But Quentin Johnston doesn't need to be perfect. I mean, I think as Chargers, I can say many Chargers fans expect Q to be perfect. He's not perfect. No receiver is perfect. But if we get a Quentin Johnston with only 2 drops again, I'll be happy as fucking pie. I ain't gonna lie. That was what I want to see. 2 drops, that's fine. But that's fine. But I know he's shown improvement. Quentin Johnston just needs to be perfect. He just needs to be consistent. I think if you're consistent, you're going to be fine. In this offense, there's going to be a lot of targets, a lot of yards to get. And there's going to be a lot of mouths to feed because sure the hell, it looks like we probably could have a reunion with, I know, Keenan Allen. They say there is a reunion that possibly could happen, but that means that it makes 5 mouths to feed. But it's going to be a fun one this year. But on that note, this isn't just a development anymore. It's a breakout loading possibility. I said possibly. This is what I'm thinking. I am hoping. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Yes, QJ has shown improvement the past 2 years. But to me, if he wants the money he wants, we have until I'll get that in the next QJ7 I have coming up. But to me, I think he can break out in this offense, but we shall see what happens on that note. But JD, you want to pull up the Justin Ebonke picture? I think it's Ebonke picture. All right. Okay. This is a player, a depth piece on our team that stood out to me last year. I actually had him in fantasy last year on 2 or 3 teams. So One of the biggest reasons the Chargers team was able to sustain success across a full 17-game season last year and finish 11-6 was because the production that just didn't come from stars, it came from the depth piece. And that brings me up to Justin Ibuke. In year 2, Ibuke quietly put together one of the most underrated seasons on the roster. He played in all 17 games, something that not all Chargers players get to do, is play every single game. We always have injuries. Knock on wood, he played all 17. So that's what stands out to me. Not only started one of them, but all of them, and still finished with 6 sacks and 10 quarterback hits. That's just not solid. That's impactful production from a rotational defensive lineman. And that's something that really needed last year. I don't know. When you add 39 total tackles and 7 tackles for loss, it tells you everything you need to know. This is a player who made the most of his snaps, and he wasn't just there filling reps. He was distributing plays and getting into the backfield and affecting the quarterback, which we needed. And that's the kind of depth piece, and it separates good teams from playoff teams. And I want to get back to the playoffs this year because, of course, it's a long season. It's just not about your starters. It's about staying healthy. It's about having guys behind them who can step in and still produce and give the Chargers exactly. He gave the Chargers exactly that last year. He helped keep the defense front fresh, kept the pressure consistent, and he made sure there was no drop-off when the rotations kicked in. So now that question becomes heading into next season. Will we get the same production? I hope so. Was that just a strong rotational year, or was it just ready to take the next step into a larger role on this line? We shall see. Because if this is what he's doing in limited starts, imagine what he can do and what it will look like if he gets more snaps. So maybe what he did last year has shown, hey, I need a bigger role on the line and on the team, and hopefully gets more reps and all that kind of stuff. We shall see what comes, but it's nice having these depth pieces that step up. That's what I'm saying. When we drafted players like Ortiz drafted players, these players that are mainly depth pieces have stepped up to be starters. That's something that's great. It's not, you don't have to go out and sign players. It's the players that you're developing to be starters and be key people on your roster and on your line. And he stepped up last year, so it's showing, and I'm happy for him. But it's not all the time that we hit on these players, pause. But I'm glad we are. And as I said, I'm glad we have Ortiz as a general manager. As Coupon Tom Telesco, he would just gamble. I know life is a gamble, but damn, that man gambled too much, and I'm glad we have something different. All right, JD, I'm going to get to the 3-headed monster. Excuse me. What up, Miss Papa Guru? Shout out to Papa Guru and Baby Guru, Spencer the Guru. Shout out to your Saints and shout out to the Guru Nation. Make sure to check out Spencer's YouTube channel. Check out Spencer the Guru. You can probably look him up on YouTube, and it's Guru Nation. It should be a football with a Saints logo on it. And that's his YouTube logo. Okay, so I'm going to get to this 3-headed monster. I'm going to call this segment the Chargers wide receiver, quiet strength, loud potential. And one of the more interesting takes coming out of the draft season is from Trevor Sigma. And he said this, it might surprise some fans, wide receiver isn't a panic need for the Chargers. Now, I have seen that we may dabble and get a wide receiver in the middle rounds, but we shall see. And then we'll find out this in this draft. But when you really look at this wide receiver group, it's not lacking talent. It's lacking amplification of players that just get out there. You got Ladd McConkey. You got Quentin Johnston providing weekly stability. These are guys, not much, Papa Guru. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I know it was great talking to you earlier. I said I'll call you after the show and we can work on the teams and stuff like that. But no, I appreciate it, and I also appreciate Papa Guru. He and I co-manage a baseball team. It's been kind of fun. I've learned a lot of knowledge. I've learned a lot of things from Papa Guru. The man's a walking encyclopedia when it comes to baseball and comes to football. And that's kind of cool. When you meet people in your life and you learn a lot of things. I've learned a lot of things from Papa Guru. So shout out to you, Papa Guru. Thank you for the walking knowledge. I really appreciate it. Let me get back to this. Okay, so I'll start over. You got Lab McConkey, you got QJ providing weekly stability. Those guys can be consistently give you the production. Move the chains, keep the offense on schedule, and then you got Trey Harris. I feel he's going to have a big year in this offense. I think he's going to have more reps. He's going to be relied on more, and I think more. We'll see Trey Harris step up this year, and as a name that might not pop in the box score yet, but it's his role that matters. He fits what Justin Herbert does well, stretching the structure of the defense and creating opportunities that don't always show up statistically on the score sheet. And that's where the real story begins, with Mike McDaniel influencing this offense. This person that wrote the story expects Lad McConkey to take a serious leap. We're talking wide receiver one type volume, design touches, quick hitters, space, created opportunities, the kind of usage that turns short gains into explosive plays through the yards after the catch. So it'd be lovely having two wide receivers with Yak, Lad, and QJ. Hey man, if one don't hit, the other's going to hit. So you can't mark, if one's open, one's going to be there. So I'm looking forward to this. That has been a missing piece on this offense. Someone that can stretch the field. I'm trying to think of the last wide receiver that I felt that could stretch the field was probably Mike Williams when healthy. And that's all that I can recall would be Mike Williams. That's about, and that was a fun couple of years with Mike Williams out of that. But man, those are some good years. But that's been a missing piece for the Chargers. Not talent, but scheme. And we're going to have that scheme in the McDaniels offense. So yeah, if the draft falls the right way and there's a perfect fit hypothetically at receiver for the Chargers, you can add another weapon, no question. But the bigger takeaway is, here it is. The Chargers don't need to overhaul the wide receiver room. They need to unlock it. We have the players. We just need to unlock their capability and their potential, what they can do on the field. I mean, I feel now in this offense, there's going to be targets. There's going to be yards. There's going to be many mouths to feed. But you know what? I feel we have the wide receiver room to take that next step in this offense. The Chargers don't need to don't need to overhaul the room. They need to unlock it. Because if this Mike McDaniel system hits the way it's expected to from all these pundits and experts, what's already in place could go from solid to seriously dangerously. This offense could be dangerous. As I'm saying, I'm going to say why I'm going to say it's dangerous. It's because we're going to have a healthy offensive line. That's something we never had last year. We're going to have a run game. It's going to give more time for Justin Herbert to throw the ball. So that's why I'm saying this offense could be dangerous this year. We'll take advantage of what we have with Mike McDaniel for this 1 year. Because that's what I feel. As a Chargers fan, it's a 1 year Mike McDaniel rental. That's what it's going to be. So he proves he can get a head coaching. I feel he's going to get a head coaching. Come on, you got Justin Herbert. You got offensive weapons like Lad McConkey, Amari and Hampton. He's going to scheme up plays for these guys to thrive. Not just in the offense, but for the team in general. So, hey, I think this is going to be fun. I think it's going to be a wonderful offense to have this year in fantasy football. And as I said, once the draft's over, the landing spots or all that kind of stuff, I will put together a post-draft / fantasy show and all that stuff. But I'll get to that. But all right. I said I was going to do 2 segments on QJ. So this will be my second one. And this one, it's called It's Decision Time Looming for Quentin Johnston. JD, you want to pull up that decision time? Yes. I think that was No, I'm trying to think. That wasn't the Cowboys game. No, I don't think it was. No, I think that was from the Rams game. I think that was, or no. That I forget what that was. I have to brain for. All right, so I'm gonna call this one decision time looming. All right, we know I mentioned it a couple times on the shows that May 1st is a decision we have to make on Quentin Johnston's 5th-year option. We have until May 1st. All right. Let's talk about one of the biggest decisions the Chargers have coming up and looming. It's Quentin Johnston. The clock is ticking, and QJ is on the clock. May 1st is the deadline, and that's $18 million 5th-year option. And that front office has a real decision to make. Do you pay Quentin Johnston, or do you pivot and trade him? Now, we've already come out and said we're not going to trade Q. Now, I know tomorrow's the draft. Is there going to be a draft trade? I don't think so. Ortiz shut any kind of trade rumors down for Quentin Johnston. So for me as a Charger fan, and I'm looking at this from what all they're saying, is they're possibly maybe potentially going to pick up this 5th-year option. We shall see what happens. But, I know we're going to, after the draft, we're going to talk about paying Tuli his large extension pause. But as I said, do you pay him or do you pivot or trade? And that's not going to happen. But now here's where it gets interesting. On one hand, QJ hasn't fully lived up to his first-round expectation in terms of total production. He hasn't become that true dominant wide receiver one that you expect when you draft someone in the first round. Don't get me wrong. No, he hasn't shown that. But he has shown over the past couple of years consistency and showing what his ability was. And that's why I said in the last segment of the flashes to growing. It's about development. You develop in time. But, not all receivers develop like everyone else. So, on one hand, QJ hasn't, as I said, not a wide receiver one. He changes game. He doesn't. True wide receiver ones changes games every single week. Has QJ done that? No, he hasn't. And as a Chargers fan, I'll admit he hasn't. He's been there, but he hasn't put in the work week in. Oh man, I'm that wide receiver one this week. I'm out in the league. No, that's wide receiver one. That show up and show out. Hugh hasn't done that. So I see where Ortiz and the Chargers are at the dilemma. They have this decision to make. So to me, he's led the Chargers in receiving and touchdowns the last 2 seasons. And I also mentioned the last Chargers offensive weapon to do that, lead the team 2 years in a row in touchdowns, was Antonio Gates. And we know what that led to him. That was the Hall of Fame. Yes, Quentin Johnston's no Antonio Gates. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying, all I'm saying, that was a wrong analogy. It's just saying that he is the last person to do that, to lead the team 2 years in a row. And that matters because touchdowns don't just win games. It's the red zone production, that finishing drives. That's something you can't just ignore. Now factor this in. The Chargers only have 5 draft picks this year. So if you decline the option and move on from Q, you're creating another hole pause on the roster with limited ammo to replace him. So that's why I really feel it's kind of hard to go out there and get a receiver. It's like, you got Q, you got Ladd, you got Trey, you got KLS, and potentially you also, they say a reunion with Keenan Allen also. So that's at least 5. But I don't think it's all there to go out and get the receiver. Or if we do, is it after the draft? So to me, that's where I'm saying you have 5 picks. Use those 5 picks for needs. Wide receiver is not a need. I feel it's not a need. But, so if you decline the option and move on, you're creating, as I said, you have to replace them. That's risky. But if you pick up the $18 million option, you're committing serious money to a player who still hasn't proven he can be a consistent, high-volume weapon. And that's why I feel this year and then this offense, this is a make or break year for Q, you know? So here's the real question. Are you paying for what he has been, or are you betting on what he could become in the new system? So there's you're betting on that, on what he doing in this system. So that's the hypothetical. So it's a lot to live up to. So now, so is there really a trade market? Ortiz said no one called. There was no calls. But he said Q wasn't on the market. But there was all these stories, I know I said on the show, that, hey, Quentin Johnston name was out there in a trade. And I know some of the insiders put it out there. But they just put it out there. But was it true? I don't know. I'm not in Joe Ortiz's head. I don't know what's going on, but I don't know. I'm just reporting what I read online. But not everything you read online is true. And everyone said, oh, maybe you flipped Quentin Johnston for an extra day 2 or day 3 pick. No, that's not going to happen. It's, but moving him also means you're betting on to replace his production. That's not going to happen also. But now here's the real wild card, the offensive system, the new system. If the Chargers lean into a Mike McDaniel style offense in 2026, motion, heavy space, creating yards after the catch focused, that's where Quentin Johnston shines. So that's where they're betting. I think for me, this is where they're betting on Q. Hey, Q, bet on yourself, just like all the other players do in their contract year. They bet on themselves, and they go out there and they ball the hell out there. I hope you do that for my Chargers. Ball the hell out on the contract year. Show you worth this money, and maybe see what happens, When players bet on themselves, they usually ball out, pause, and play the hell out because they know they're playing for another contract. So, hey, and as I said, that could be exactly what unlocks Quentin Johnston. We're talking about a system that gets receivers the ball in space, uses motions to create mismatches, turns speed inside into explosive plays. I mentioned that earlier, and I'm looking forward to that again. But that's where Quentin Johnston thrives. I saw it at TCU. I saw all the tape. I saw that. But you know what? It's great to do on I say it on paper, but it's producing on the field also. And that's where, as I feel, Quentin Johnston does thrive. He's not just your classic possession receiver. He's a run after the catch weapon. Get the ball in his hands, pause, and crossover screens and scheme touches. Let him go. Let him play. I feel he's going to shine in this offense. Mike McDaniels, I feel, is going to put him in the right spots, the right schemes, and Quentin Johnston's going to shine. And, it's not your classic. Q is not your classic possession receiver. He's a run after the catch weapon. As I said, get the ball to him. Instead of asking him to win every snap like a traditional wide receiver, you put him in the positions to succeed. You put him in those positions to succeed, you're going to manufacture touches. You're going to let his athleticism take over. And if that happens, you might not just be paying for potential, but you could be playing for a breakout. And so here's the real question. Are you paying for, as I said, what he has been and all that kind of stuff? But bottom line, for me, it's a classic risk versus reward decision. Pay him, you're betting on the upside and the continuity. Hypothetically, if we do trade him, which we're not, and so when I wrote this a little like last week, trade him, you're betting on his flexibility and draft capital. Either way, the Chargers can't afford to get this one wrong. As I said, we're really, because we don't have the draft capital in this draft to go out and get a receiver. We have these 5 picks. We have to use them correctly. So that's all on that. But now I just put a section together, and this is called the Chargers News and Notes. I know I mentioned the last show that Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt have already been back at the facility and doing work. They'll both be ready for the season. Tyler Biadasz will be a massive upgrade at center, I feel, over Bradley the Clown Bozeman. Now, also, the Chargers' new center, Tyler Biotis, on motivation to turn the O-line around with national perception, absolutely no doubt we're going to turn this around. He said, keeping the quarterback clean, controlling the line of scrimmage, on building chemistry with Justin Herbert, and getting under center snaps with Justin Herbert is going to be a key, and he's looking forward to it. And he said the last time we were watching a press conference, he was at a press conference, he said the last game he remembers playing against Herbert, I think it was Wisconsin versus Oregon. I guess it was a bowl game or something like that. So he recalls that. And as I said, the Chargers are not ruling out a Keenan Allen reunion. And now I'm going to say that's just not a wrap for this episode, but also tomorrow. Yes, we have the draft. But here on the Gen Wealth YouTube channel and over on the Fella JD's channel on the Hard to Start, tomorrow we're going to have I'll probably be doing my ears to the street segment for probably maybe half an hour or something beforehand the draft start with all the rumors and all that stuff that's going on. Make sure to, tap in next week. We're taking it to another, breaking down the NFL draft. And also, man, tomorrow we're going to have on the Gen Wealth the whole round one. So, hey, we're going to have reactions, my reactions to what we do at 22 tomorrow. Do we trade up? Do we trade down? Man, you're going to get the reactions live. And then hopefully I can tell JD, clip that. And if I can get that reaction, I'll put it on the I'll see what we can do, and I could put it on an upcoming episode. But I'm looking forward to it. But tomorrow, and I hope all Chargers fans, and not just the Chargers in general, yes, it's the Chargers power, but I hope everyone from the Fella backstage to Bakes' team, the Raiders, I hope you all have a wonderful draft and you all get your team needs and things that you want. I mean, I have a wish list, but we can all have a wish list, but we all don't get what we want. It's like asking for Santa Claus every single year or for Christmas presents. We all want everything we want. We don't always get it. But, man, I'm just hoping that we get protection for Justin Herbert, and it's the best available player. If it's Peter Woods, if it's beyond Chase Besantes, or if we trade up and get the kid from Penn State. I have faith in Joe Ortiz and in Jim Harbaugh, what they feel they need for this offense and for the offensive line and the defensive line. So I'm looking forward to it. But before I do end the show, I want to appreciate everyone for taking their time, for tuning in for Season 2, Episode 2. And I want to shout out to JD, the Fella backstage, for holding it down every single episode and every single week. I appreciate you every single day, and for always having my back and being the best backstage producer. I really do. So, and as I said, also join us tomorrow night for the first round, for the live reaction. And, of course, you got to get my reaction. That's going to be priceless because my reactions can be either good, but they can be wild. And I know a few of the guys in the channel. I remember Peacock saying this morning, like, hey, we're going to see Lee's reaction. Trust me. There's going to be it's like fantasy, all range of emotions, but you're going to get nothing but a true, authentic self from me tomorrow. I'll give it how it is. I'll give you my take, but you know what? I'm looking forward to it. As I said, join us tomorrow here on this channel, on the Gen Wealth, or on the Hard to Start at 7 o'clock Central Time, 5 o'clock Pacific Time. So on that note, bolt up. Thank you for tuning in. And also head on over to neonpeacockmerch.com. Take full advantage of the sale that's left for under 24 hours and all that stuff. But on that note, thank you for tuning in. And as I said, after the draft, I will start putting together a post-draft / fantasy show for that come up. So on that note, I hope everyone has a wonderful night, rest of your day, a wonderful draft, and I'll see you next time. Bolt up.
center. Game plan sick, talking under the weather. You know what we doing? I need that all expense paid inclusive. I'm the plug, so I'm plugged into it. About money like with Jewish white Christmas. I'm Scrooge, bitch. My mood is on cruise ship. If you ain't tuned in, you ain't vibing with my moon man. I move shit like Carrie. I'm the cold truth, Fletcher Reed, Jim Carrey. Everything mooey, that mean the price varies. Need that designer cream shit and all Ben and Jerry's. Cream get the money like 36 chambers. Baskin Robbins shit, 31 flavors. Keep it moving.
I can make things move. I can make things move. I can make things move. I can make things move.
Everything on me. Yeah, tell him Bogart scot-free. Lottie-dottie, he like to party. Fuck with clothes, shoot, trolling 5 Molly. Heard I carry weight, move packs like a dolly. And I stay fuming, clock me doing Godspeed. Business booming, back-to-back trips, moving multiple units. Got mules, got universal soldiers, getting money for sure. Yeah, we ain't shrugging shoulders. You think I'm lucky getting over, made it far, cause I'm sharp, fuck a 4-leaf clover. On my 89, minus the flat top. Getting packs off, smoking on the cash crop. Money talk, if you're broke, then you can't talk. Play a never-ending ball game, Sandlot.
I can make things move. I can make things move. I can make things move. I can make things move.
Getting money when I land there. Smoking all loud so I can't hear. And if your boys bring the noise, all y'all bitches getting scraped pap smear. Codeine got me leaning, trapeze. Put your boy on point, pyramid of Giza. I'ma rock like this till I'm an old geezer. No pizza parlor, but we deliver pizzas. Ask Uncle Sam, I'm taxing. Look, ma, no hands, telepathic. I can make things move, I'm carefully calculated when I make these moves. I run shit, don't let me get loose. I'm all about my decks, trying not to get goosed. Keep it moving.